Protests against unequal economic opportunity at the heart of the Occupy movement resonate deeply with many New Yorkers. New York State trails only behind D.C. in income disparity, according to the Census Bureau. Many of the hardest hit are people of color who are disproportionately affected by poverty, high unemployment, foreclosures, and deep cutbacks to public services. As the Occupy movement loudly opposes these conditions, it's increasingly found itself a topic of conversation in the classroom.
It's not that Occupy Wall Street, it is like all of the issues. It's that all the issues are there and there's just an opportunity now to speak about it through Occupy Wall Street.
24-year-old Jonalyn Umipig is senior membership facilitator at El Puente, an after-school leadership program for underprivileged Brooklyn youth. Brushing aside her initial skepticism, Umipig has spent the last month creating an Occupy curriculum.
I mean, the movement isn't a movement until the young people are present.
Umipig's lesson plans aim to empower youth through creating protest signs, writing letters to Wall Street CEOs, discussing the role of social media in revolutions, and examining popular music, such as the song Words I Never Said by rapper and Occupy supporter Lupe Fiasco.
Crooked banks around the world were glad to give a loan today, so if you ever miss a payment, they can take your home away.
One popular topic has been the unprovoked police brutality against peaceful protesters. It's something many New York youth face every day. The city's schools are the most heavily policed in the country. The over 5,000 officers patrolling city schools represent the fifth largest police force in the country. Umipig says through discussion, her students overcame their fears and participated in Occupy Wall Street's anti-police brutality rally on October 18th.
And I was telling the young people because they were so nervous that the police were gonna try to do something to them when they came into Wall Street. And I was like, listen, the moment that you guys walk in there, they won't know what to do.
Umipig says her curriculum has received positive feedback from educators across the city and the country. But teachers haven't just been involved in facilitating discussions of the protests. Many, including 32-year-old public school teacher Kelly Walcott, helped launch the movement.
New York City is a microcosm of a trend that's happening nationally to undermine public education.
Since 2007, the city's school budget has been slashed by about 13%. And in the case of nearly 700 school aides laid off in October, the cuts almost exclusively targeted poor communities of color, according to the New York Daily News. Again, Kelly Walcott.
This year alone, my school lost $500,000.
The Occupy movement's opposition to the unchecked influence of the richest 1% in decisions that affect the 99% echoes what grassroots education activists have been saying for years, especially since the No Child Left Behind Act passed in 2002. It opened the doors for wealthy philanthropists such as Bill Gates to pour tens of millions of dollars into education reform and exert massive influence over policymaking. Business model reforms have been emphasized. Schools with poor standardized test scores are being closed, and many have been turned into privately run charter schools. These policies have been escalated by the Obama administration's signature Race to the Top education initiative. Walcott says distribution of money is also problematic.
Funding priorities have also changed massively in schools, and there's less money going to resources in the classroom and direct instruction, and more resources that are being given to private contracts that are no bid.
Another trend is affecting education. Over the past 15 years, elected school boards have been replaced with appointed education panels. New York's has not once opposed Mayor Michael Bloomberg during his 9 years in office. That's why teachers in the state organized an occupation of an education department meeting at a Manhattan high school last week. Public school teacher Joshua Soul Lewis says for once the community's voice was heard.
We're being attacked constantly by the mayor, by the city, and they're taking away things. They're taking away things constantly, and it seems like we're not fighting to take anything back.
New York's teachers union did not mobilize its members for the action. Lewis says organized labor needs to lead the fight for a democratic education policy.
Our union needs to step up to the plate in terms of bringing the community back into the decision-making process. And the union needs to be active in the community. The union needs to be coming to schools. The union needs to be organizing protests, fighting back on a daily basis. We are the biggest union, one of the biggest unions in the country. We have the resources. We need to be out on the front lines fighting back against what is a vicious assault on all of our basic rights in public education.
teachers and activists are planning to escalate actions in the upcoming week. On Monday, they plan to occupy New York's Department of Education headquarters. Reporting for the Real News Network and FSRN, this is Jess Lenore in New York.